Be kind but not blind. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about a powerful principle, one that has the potential to shape our relationships and our lives in profound ways. It's a principle that strikes a delicate balance between compassion and wisdom, strength and vulnerability. It's about being kind but not blind. Kindness is often viewed as a virtue, something we should practice freely and without hesitation. Many overlook the wisdom that comes with it. True kindness isn't about blindly giving away your time, energy, or goodwill. It's about knowing when and how to extend that kindness while also protecting your own well-being. So, let's explore how we can be kind without losing sight of our own boundaries, how we can empower ourselves and others with thoughtful action, and how we can lead with a strength that inspires. Because being kind while staying sharp is the path that leads to both personal growth and meaningful connections. Let's dive deeper into this powerful idea together. True kindness requires wisdom. At the core of every meaningful interaction is kindness, the ability to show empathy, understanding, and compassion. But kindness, in its purest form, is not simply about doing things for others. It is a conscious, thoughtful act that requires wisdom. It's about recognizing when kindness can truly benefit someone and when it's important to step back. True kindness is not about being a doormat. It is not about sacrificing yourself, your time, or your values for others, especially when it leads to your own detriment. To be genuinely kind, you must also possess the wisdom to discern what is in the best interest of both you and the people around you. Being kind doesn't mean saying yes to everything or everyone. It means knowing when to extend a helping hand, when to offer words of encouragement, and when to remain silent and give space for growth. You see, the most powerful acts of kindness come from a place of clarity about your values, about your capacity to help, and about the long-term impact of your actions. Just as a wise leader knows when to act decisively and when to wait, you must know when your kindness will truly make a difference and when it might be more harmful than helpful. This wisdom in kindness is essential because there are situations where blind kindness can lead to harm, both to you and to others. If you always say yes without considering the consequences, you risk depleting yourself, giving too much, and eventually resenting the very people you wanted to help. The truth is, you cannot pour from an empty cup. To give genuinely, you must first ensure you are filled with the resources, physical, emotional, and mental, needed to share with others. Kindness that lacks wisdom can lead to enabling negative behaviors or fostering dependency. Sometimes, what a person truly needs is not your help, but your ability to empower them to help themselves. And that, my friends, requires wisdom. True kindness recognizes that sometimes the most kind thing you can do is not to intervene directly, but to help someone find their own strength. You think of a parent guiding a child. The parent doesn't do everything for the child, but instead teaches them the skills they need to succeed on their own. This is true kindness, offering the right amount of support at the right time, and empowering others to stand on their own 2 feet. True kindness also means giving with purpose. Ask yourself, is this kindness helping the person grow, or is it only feeding a temporary need? Does this act of kindness create a lasting impact, or is it just a short-term fix? Wisdom helps you make these judgments, ensuring that your kindness doesn't perpetuate cycles of dependence or enable unhealthy patterns. It's important to remember that wisdom and kindness also involves being kind to yourself. Often we are so focused on helping others that we forget to give ourselves the same care and attention. True kindness requires you to nurture yourself so that you have the strength and energy to continue helping others. This balance is vital. It's a cycle. When you give wisely, you replenish yourself, and when you replenish yourself, you are better able to give. So, let us remember that kindness is not just about action, but about mindful action. It's about making choices that reflect not only your desire to help, but also your understanding of what truly serves both you and others. As we move forward, let's challenge ourselves to act with kindness that is both thoughtful and wise. The world needs that kind of kindness, the kind that doesn't blind us to our own needs or the needs of others, but instead shows up with clarity and purpose, ready to make a real difference. Discernment protects your energy. Kindness, as we've discussed, is one of the most beautiful virtues we can practice. But what many don't realize is that kindness is not limitless. It's like a well of energy that needs to be managed and protected. This is where discernment comes in. Discernment is the ability to judge well and to understand when to give your energy and when to reserve it. In our fast-paced, always-on world, it's easy to become overwhelmed. We are constantly bombarded with demands on our time, attention, and emotions. Every person we encounter has needs, and many of us want to help. But the truth is, if we don't practice discernment, we can quickly run out of the very energy we need to maintain our own health and well-being. This is where the wisdom of knowing when to step back becomes crucial. It's important to understand that not every request for your time, energy, or assistance is something you are required to fulfill. When we give without discretion, we can easily find ourselves drained and resentful. And this is where discernment acts as a guard, helping us prioritize what is truly important and worthwhile. Imagine for a moment that your energy is a limited resource, much like money in a bank account. Every time you give of yourself without careful thought, you are withdrawing from your energy account. But just as with money, if you don't make deposits to refill your account, you will find yourself bankrupt emotionally, physically, and mentally. Discernment allows us to assess each situation and decide whether it's worth making a withdrawal. And sometimes, the most powerful act of kindness is to say no to a request in order to preserve your ability to say yes to something more important or meaningful. Think of it this way: if you are always giving to others without setting limits, you are not only risking your own well-being, but you're also potentially diminishing the quality of help you can provide. The person you're trying to help may not be receiving your best energy. This is why discernment is not just a tool for self-preservation. It's a way to ensure that your kindness is truly beneficial to those you are helping. Another important aspect of discernment is recognizing when people may be taking advantage of your kindness. It's unfortunate, but sometimes people will continue to ask for help without any intention of helping themselves. They may come to rely on your kindness, using it as a crutch rather than working through their own challenges. This kind of dynamic can be draining, and without discernment, you may not even realize it until it's too late. To protect your energy, you must recognize when your kindness is being exploited and when it's genuinely making a positive impact. Being able to say no in these situations is not unkind. In fact, it can be the most compassionate thing you can do. By setting boundaries, you help others learn to stand on their own, and you preserve your energy to continue helping those who are ready to grow and evolve. Discernment also means knowing when to walk away. In life, there are situations that drain us, whether it's toxic relationships, unproductive habits, or harmful environments. Continuing to invest in these situations out of a misguided sense of duty or kindness will only lead to exhaustion. Recognizing when a relationship, a project, or a situation is no longer healthy or beneficial is a sign of emotional maturity and wisdom. It takes courage to step away from something that is no longer serving you, but doing so is a form of self-respect. Discernment involves checking in with yourself regularly. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle of life and forget to assess our own needs. By regularly asking yourself, am I giving my energy to what matters most? You can ensure that you are aligning your actions with your values. This simple practice allows you to protect your energy and use it in the most effective ways. One of the most powerful things you can do in life is to protect your energy. Energy is not just something we experience physically, but emotionally and mentally. If we allow others to drain us without discretion, we lose our ability to serve ourselves and others with the full capacity that kindness requires. But when we use discernment, we are better able to serve with integrity and balance, ensuring that we don't run out of what makes us whole. Remember this: discernment is not about being selfish, it is about being wise. It is about knowing when to give, when to hold back, and when to say no. When you protect your energy through discernment, you not only safeguard your well-being, but also ensure that your kindness remains genuine, powerful, and truly impactful. Empowerment through balance. One of the most profound and empowering aspects of kindness is that it should not be a one-sided affair. It should not come at the cost of your own needs or aspirations. True kindness comes from a place of balance, where both the giver and the recipient are uplifted, empowered, and supported. It is only through this delicate balance that we can truly make a lasting impact in the lives of others without depleting ourselves in the process. The concept of balance may seem simple on the surface, but in practice it requires conscious effort and thoughtful reflection. To understand this balance, we must first acknowledge the relationship between giving and receiving. Many people think that being kind means always giving time, energy, attention, and resources without question. And while selfless giving is admirable, it's essential to recognize that without balance, it can easily become a source of burnout and frustration. When you give too much, especially without considering your own needs and boundaries, you are not only at risk of draining yourself, but you may also prevent others from developing their own strength. True empowerment comes from lifting others in a way that encourages their independence, growth, and ability to stand on their own. Think of a gardener who tends to plants. The gardener provides water, nutrients, and care, but ultimately the plants must grow on their own. The gardener does not carry the plants or do all the growing for them. Similarly, when you help others, your kindness should act as a nurturing force that encourages them to thrive, not a crutch that prevents them from standing on their own. This is the first layer of balance, the understanding that kindness is meant to empower, not to enable dependency. It is about giving enough to encourage growth and development, but not so much that it creates an environment where the person becomes reliant on you. Just as a coach doesn't do all the work for an athlete, but rather guides them to develop their own skills, your kindness should guide others to find their own inner strength. The second layer of balance is about understanding that you too are worthy of care and respect. Far too often, we give without considering our own well-being. We give to others until we are empty, thinking that this is the true meaning of kindness. But this approach ultimately leads to resentment and frustration because we have not respected our own limits. It's important to recognize that your needs are just as important as those of others. Taking care of yourself is not selfish, it is essential. When you are at your best, you are able to give more effectively, more authentically, and more sustainably. Think of the analogy of an airplane emergency. You are instructed to put on your own oxygen mask first before helping others. Why? Because if you are incapacitated, you will not be able to help anyone else. The same applies to life. If you do not tend to your own needs, whether they are emotional, physical, or mental, you will not have the strength to help those around you in a meaningful way. This is the core of self-care, and it is vital for maintaining the balance that allows you to give without losing yourself in the process. Empowerment through balance also means knowing when to step back. Sometimes the most empowering act you can do for someone else is to allow them to take the reins. This is a difficult but important lesson, especially for those who feel compelled to help constantly. Allowing others to struggle, to face challenges, and to find their own solutions is one of the most profound ways to empower them. You are not abandoning them, but rather giving them the space to grow, learn, and ultimately become stronger and more self-sufficient. This concept is particularly relevant in leadership. A true leader does not do everything for the people they lead. Instead, they create an environment that nurtures growth, encourages independence, and empowers others to contribute in their own way. Empowerment through balance in leadership is about finding the right mix of support and challenge, guiding others while also giving them the room to think for themselves, solve problems, and develop their own potential. Let us not forget that empowerment also involves setting boundaries. You cannot empower others if you allow them to drain you completely. Boundaries are the invisible lines that preserve your own energy and ensure that you are able to continue giving in a healthy, sustainable way. Boundaries are not barriers to kindness, they are essential tools that help you maintain the energy required to be kind, loving, and generous without exhausting yourself. Empowerment through balance requires you to be mindful of your own well-being, to discern when your kindness is benefiting others, and to encourage growth and independence rather than dependence. It is about finding the sweet spot where both you and the person you are helping thrive. And it's in this balance that you will discover a kindness that is both sustainable and impactful, a kindness that creates ripples of growth and empowerment that extend far beyond the moment of giving. Let us be intentional in our kindness. Let us recognize that true kindness comes from a place of balance where our own needs are respected, our energy is protected, and those around us are empowered to grow. It is in this balance that we unlock the full potential of kindness and make the most lasting impact on the lives of others. Kindness is strength, not weakness. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most common misconceptions about kindness is that it is a sign of weakness. Many people believe that those who are kind are somehow lacking in strength, that they are passive, and that they are simply pushed around by others. This idea couldn't be further from the truth. Kindness is, in fact, one of the strongest qualities a person can possess. It takes immense strength to remain kind in a world that often rewards aggression, selfishness, and apathy. To understand this, we must first explore what true strength is. Strength is not about being the loudest in the room or asserting your power over others. It's not about forcing your will onto others or dominating situations. Real strength is about control over your emotions, your reactions, and your intentions. It's about having the discipline to act with integrity and respect, even when it might be easier to act with force, anger, or selfishness. True strength comes from having a clear sense of who you are and what you stand for. It is knowing your values and being steadfast in them, even when the world around you seems to be pulling you in every direction. Kindness, in this sense, is a direct reflection of that inner strength. It requires the ability to stand firm in your beliefs without resorting to harshness or aggression. It is the choice to meet challenges with compassion instead of fear or frustration. In fact, kindness is a powerful tool for creating change and influencing others. People are drawn to those who show empathy and understanding. It is much easier to follow a leader who shows kindness as opposed to one who leads through fear, intimidation, or aggression. Kindness, when practiced consistently and with authenticity, fosters trust and loyalty. It creates a sense of community and collaboration that is far more effective than any forceful command could ever be. But being kind does not mean being passive. On the contrary, it means having the strength to stand up for what is right, even when it is difficult. It means having the courage to speak out against injustice, to challenge harmful behaviors, and to protect others from harm. True kindness isn't about letting people walk all over you or avoiding conflict at all costs. It's about having the moral courage to do what's right, even when it requires sacrifice or standing alone. Consider the most respected leaders throughout history, those who have made lasting positive impacts on the world. Many of these individuals were known for their kindness, not their aggression. You think of figures like Mahatma Gandhi, who led a nation to independence through nonviolent means, or Mother Teresa, who devoted her life to caring for the poor and sick in one of the most difficult environments imaginable. These individuals were not weak. They were some of the strongest people to ever live. Their strength came from their unwavering commitment to kindness and their ability to stay true to their principles even in the face of adversity. Kindness as strength also means having the resilience to remain compassionate even when others are unkind. It's easy to be kind to those who are kind to you, but the real strength lies in being able to show kindness to those who may not deserve it or who may even be hostile toward you. It's in these moments when you are tested that your true strength is revealed. When someone insults you, when you're faced with disrespect, or when you encounter negativity, it requires immense strength to respond with kindness rather than retaliation. This is the true measure of character, and it is what sets apart those who lead with integrity from those who lead through power or manipulation. Kindness as strength means that you are not afraid to show vulnerability. Vulnerability is often mistaken for weakness, but in reality, it is one of the strongest actions a person can take. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, when you show others your true self, you demonstrate confidence in who you are. You invite connection, and you inspire others to do the same. The ability to be vulnerable and still kind is a sign of emotional maturity, and it takes strength to allow yourself to be open and authentic in a world that often values stoicism and detachment. At the same time, kindness as strength also means being able to set boundaries. It takes strength to say no when necessary, to protect your own time and energy, and to ensure that your kindness is not being taken advantage of. Boundaries are not a contradiction to kindness. They are a necessary part of maintaining healthy relationships. They ensure that your kindness remains genuine and does not lead to resentment or burnout. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect. and it allows you to give without sacrificing your own well-being. Kindness is not about being weak or passive. It is about having the strength to act with compassion, to remain true to your values, and to meet challenges with grace and empathy. Kindness is an active choice, one that requires emotional strength, moral courage, and resilience. It is a quality that empowers us to create positive change in the world, to build strong, trusting relationships, and to stand firm in the face of adversity. Let us redefine what it means to be strong. Let us embrace kindness as the true expression of strength and unwavering commitment to doing what is right, to empowering others, and to maintaining our integrity in the face of all challenges. Kindness is not a weakness. It is the foundation of the most enduring and impactful leadership. It is, without a doubt, one of the strongest forces in the world. The ripple effect of kindness. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever noticed how a single act of kindness can have far-reaching effects? Kindness doesn't just impact the person to whom it is directed. It creates a ripple effect that can spread across entire communities, countries, and even the world. When we practice kindness, we are planting seeds that have the potential to grow and multiply in ways we may never fully understand. The beauty of kindness lies in its ability to transcend boundaries and create a chain reaction that uplifts, encourages, and connects us all. Imagine for a moment that you are standing by a calm lake, holding a stone in your hand. You drop the stone into the water, and suddenly ripples begin to form. These ripples spread out in every direction, expanding ever wider with each passing second. Just like that stone, every act of kindness creates ripples that reach farther than we can see. The simple act of showing kindness can touch lives in ways we can't always predict, and it often inspires others to act with kindness in turn. Think about a small, seemingly insignificant gesture like holding the door open for someone, giving a compliment, or offering a helping hand. These actions, while small, often have a larger impact than we realize. The person who receives the kindness feels appreciated and seen. That moment of recognition can lift their spirits and change the course of their day. And what often happens next? They, in turn, become more likely to be kind to someone else, whether it's a family member, a friend, or even a stranger. The ripple effect continues, multiplying with every new act of kindness, spreading positivity and goodwill to everyone involved. Kindness also has the power to transform relationships. In every relationship, whether with family, friends, or colleagues, there are moments of tension, misunderstanding, or conflict. But kindness, especially in those difficult moments, can act as a bridge that brings people closer together. When you choose to respond with kindness, even in the face of disagreement or frustration, you are opening the door to reconciliation and understanding. You are telling the other person that despite the challenges, you choose empathy over anger, respect over judgment, and peace over conflict. The ripple effect of kindness doesn't just stay within personal circles. It can extend outward into entire communities and even societies. When people are kind to one another, it creates a culture of compassion that grows and spreads. Communities where kindness is the norm are healthier, more resilient, and more connected. When leaders and team members choose kindness, they are not only improving their relationships, but also enhancing the overall success of the organization. The ripple effect of kindness in the workplace doesn't just affect individual relationships. It has the potential to transform the entire culture of a company, leading to better results and stronger teams. It's important to recognize that kindness is not just about grand gestures. It's the small, everyday acts that often make the biggest difference. A kind word, a listening ear, or a small favor may seem insignificant in the moment, but these small acts are the foundation of the larger, more transformative change that can take place. The more we make kindness a daily practice, the more it becomes ingrained in our behavior and our interactions with others. Over time, this creates a powerful, positive momentum that can have a lasting impact. Let us remember the power of kindness and the ripple effect it creates. Every act, no matter how small, contributes to the greater good. Let us be the catalysts of positive change in our communities, in our workplaces, and in the world. The ripple effect of kindness is limitless, and each one of us has the power to make it grow. Thank you. You.